Hello, you awful, awful people. And welcome back to the second season of An Awful Lot of Running, a Doctor Who podcast.
Woo! Season 2, baby. Season 2.
Oh, it's lovely to still have a woo. I'm Jack.
I'll always woo for you, my darling.
Oh my.
He's already starting. He's getting his own back for the ways I've just derailed his own podcast. But I'll get to you in a minute, sunshine.
Okay. I'll shut up.
I'm Jack Alexander. You might know me for various things, but most of all for this podcast. My TARDIS is feeling a little bit emptier, a little bit more spacious in a minute, because for those of you that aren't aware, published author Robin FOALE will not be joining us this week. Maybe not next week, maybe not the week after. He's going to be taking a sabbatical.
Norman's on sabbatical, honey.
As it were, a small break while he recovers a bit. I'll address it straight away. We've not done one of these episodes since December. We were meant to be sort of going full force into our season 2 and having the passion and the adrenaline taking us through, but I'm going to be real honest. The War Between the Land and the Sea did a real number on me. And Robin didn't even watch it.
Abstained.
So, but look, I try and make this a positive space, but we were both feeling our passion and love for Doctor Who wane a bit. And maybe there was a bit of creative burnout as well. But hey, I'm back now because I want to talk about Doctor Who again. I'm feeling infused. I'm feeling really, really happy. Especially because while Robin's off, I'm going to be having some lovely, wonderful guest hosts from the Who community joining me. And one of them today is always, it's one of my favourite fellas, it really is. A guardian of the solar system. A man who once said his favourite Doctor Who character is Dalek. It's host of the Who Knew podcast. It's Josh Carr.
Hello. Well, thank you. That was a lovely introduction. Guardian of a solar system.
Yes.
I didn't know I had to do that. Shit.
Yeah,
I checked on them.
Oh, it's
like sea monkeys.
I was about to say it's like sea monkeys. Yeah, just
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, I also want to echo your sentiments. That it's lovely to be here. It's sad to be here without Robin. God bless Robin. A lovely, lovely lad. But I hope I can step into these lovely warm shoes, these slippers that are well worn but trusty. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I hope that I can deliver and basically co-host podcast for a bit. I'm sure I can. I hope I can.
You're from a good pedigree. You've got a good,
been around the block a few times. Yeah.
It's part of
a few
the
miles on the clock.
Part of the reason this podcast is even happening is because of you and Who Knew. So it's quite nice to have you filling in.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
My big worry is that people are going to realize, oh, the podcast was only good because Robin was on it.
As good as Robin is, I'm sure that isn't the case. It takes two to tango, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And we've still got Stella working behind the scenes as well, bless her.
That's why mine is shit. Because it's just me.
Oh, that's
two
not
to tango.
True. That's not true. God almighty. Blimmin' heck. You Murray Gold one, your Chibnall ones.
Oh, thank you. No, that sounded like I was fishing for compliments, but I didn't mean to. I just saw the opportunity for a self-deprecating joke and had to take it.
I'll say it now because I know it makes you feel uncomfortable, and I won't move on from it there. Every episode of Who Knew is my favourite episode of Who Knew. So,
thank you.
Each one, I tend
even the one with you on it. That was a bit.
Yeah.
That was a bit all over the shop. I tried my best to pick up the pieces from you and Sam.
Let's face it. I had a couple bad eggs with me each time. You get me on my own, you'll have a perfect episode.
Well, watch this space. Watch this space, people.
Well, look, since we had you on last, Josh, I'm going to do a little bit very quick before we get into our proper topic. But you've been made an honest man since
I
you were,
have.
which is so.
Put a ring on it.
I want to
Yes.
say congratulations
Well,
on behalf
thank you very
of
much.
myself, Robin Starr, and all the listeners.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, no, I got married. When was the last time I was on? Last year?
Yeah,
I've been on a few times now.
It was
Is this my
Battles in
fourth
Fandom,
time?
wasn't it? Oh, I don't know.
Is this my fourth time? I've done battle. No,
Yeah.
actually, I've done 3 battles in fandom,
Yeah.
and I came on the main show.
Yeah, I think this could be your 5th
This
time.
is my 5th.
Yeah. Hey,
Look at that.
You get a jersey this time. I'll get that in the
Do
mail to
I?
you, right?
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, big 5 on the front of it. You know, Peter Davison's face. So
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I can't wait. I can't wait to receive it. But yes, no, thank you. Yeah, I am. I wouldn't say an honest man has been made of me, but I am. Yes, I am betrothed. I am wedded, and it was. You know, all I'll say is it was the greatest day of my life. But Dalek's Masterplan episodes turning back up again. It's not far behind.
you've absolutely you've what a wonderful segue there.
Not
I
far
was-
behind.
I was about to get there. You know, we're here to talk about Dalek's master plan in the amazing news that we got back in March that we had episode 1 and episode 3 returned to the BBC archive. Partly completely because of Film is Fabulous, a independent charity that go in and record collectors, basically looking for lost media, essentially. Looking for ways to restore things. And what's amazing about this is that they never expected to find these episodes in there. They were cataloging other things. And then when suddenly these 2 episodes showed up.
Yeah. This is the beautiful thing. I mean, Film is Fabulous are obviously absolute legends, and we owe them so much. But the fact that this isn't even their primary purpose, and this is just a byproduct of the work that they do, like they are, they're not a Doctor Who charity. They're not a let's find missing episodes. Let's pretend to be Indiana Jones like some people do, and go on the hunt for missing episodes. They're just there to, like you said, just catalogue and try and preserve collections of film collectors who are aging and sadly dying, and their collections are getting sort of lost in the ether as part of their estates, and their families don't know what to do with them, and the work that they do is incredible, and the way they handle it is, I think, the key thing, because it was said, I've seen people say, they've earned respect from us, but they've also earned respect from film collectors themselves. They've earned the respect of the BBC. They've gone about it in the right way, and obviously we've got fantastic results from it. So it's lovely to see, really.
Really is. Yeah. They announced it at 6 o'clock in the morning. I remember on the BBC socials across the way that these 2 episodes have been found, and it's. I want to say it's been over 10 years since the last episodes were
13,
found,
isn't it?
Yeah, 13 episodes.
Which I don't remember because I wasn't really in tune with Classic Who much back in 2013. This time round, I was actually one of the early. I was awake, but there was a BBC article that went live at like 1:30 in the morning.
There was. I'm misremembering it. Yes,
I was recording Who Knew with Crispy Pro, which may be out, but it won't be out by the time this is out. But it'll be coming soon, so listen out for that. I was recording an episode of Who Knew, and usually every time I leave my phone on because I always think, imagine if we caught a bit of like live Doctor Who news whilst I'm recording a podcast. I thought for years, 5 years I've been doing this, and I always leave my phone on in case. And it was my first one back for a while. I was a bit rusty and I didn't want to be distracted. And I looked at my phone. I was like, there's a time difference. We're recording at like 10:30 on a Thursday night because Crispy's in Australia. There's not going to be any news now, so just turn your phone off. And the one time I turn my phone off, I turn it back on after we finish recording, and everyone's losing their mind because missing episodes of so yeah, don't expect a live reaction on the podcast, unfortunately. But I was recording as the news dropped. Yeah, it was mad. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't
It's
sleep because and then waking up in the morning and realizing that it wasn't a dream, and seeing everyone else realize that it wasn't a dream, and then seeing everyone else who didn't see it the night before wake up and find out in the news, and it was on BBC Breakfast and all this, and it was like it felt like Christmas morning. It was incredible.
it's insane, isn't it? You know, I think there were rumblings, and there's always fucking
Yes.
there's always fucking
There's always
rumblings.
rumbling. That's
You
the
know,
problem.
someone's
Is
always like,
we can't hear
oh.
we can't see the wood for the trees for the
Yeah, someone's like,
rumblings.
"Oh, I've got Marco Polo in my mum's shed," you know, or like, you know, episode
Exactly.
3 of the Web of Fear is in my attic. But no,
Yeah.
there's always rumblings, and I remember feeling sort of like before it came out, I was thinking like, "Oh, maybe this time, maybe," and then I remember waking up that morning because I'm an early one. I've got kids, so I'm usually up quite early anyway. I remember seeing it and it not really quite registering with me for a
Yeah.
second. Where
That
I was
was what it
like,
was like in the early hours of the morning when I found it. It was
well, yeah,
like it just like I was like I still don't really believe until someone puts that film canister, that 60-year-old film canister in my hand. I don't believe you.
it's really funny because I remember seeing it, and then I had I had to do like get the kids breakfast, I had to get them ready, I had to do the school run, and I think it was only when I actually got back in my house and like made a cup of coffee, and looked back at my phone again, and sort of saw the reaction. I sort of just then it like properly hit me, and I was running around the kitchen, I was screaming, and I was like, "This is it's the dream. It's what we hope for." You know,
Yeah.
we love these stories, we love these episodes. I've never experienced Dalek Masterplan in any sense before
Wow.
because I can't do the reconstructions. I just can't do the,
Well, yeah, and the
you know.
reconstructions for this, because there's no telesnaps, the reconstructions are especially hard to get through for this one, I find. And I have watched them, and I did struggle with it because it's just not the same. You just don't know what's going on, and you can try your best. And the people who've made the reconstructions fair, you know, they did a fantastic job of trying to recreate this because it's an impossible task. But some recreations, I mean, we're not talking about shitty AI ones anyway. No mentioning no names. Yeah, it just doesn't hit the same. I've heard, even though I mean this is ridiculous, I've got it on vinyl, the Dalek's Master Plan, the big, lovely, chunky vinyl set on the blue vinyls. But I've never listened to it all the way through, and I'm glad that I haven't because now I'm gonna do the rest of the episodes after the first three. But I've heard that is fantastic because that's got like linking narration from Peter Purvis, and I've heard that's a lot better than watching the reconstructions. But going in blind is mad. I was at the screening
I was
at
going to say
Riverside
that, yeah.
with George Sheard, and George also had never experienced anything of Dalek's Master Plan. So I thought that was a fascinating way to go into it, like knowing absolutely nothing. I couldn't really remember much about it, especially the opening couple of parts. Really, it wasn't very firm in my mind because I've only done the reconstructions once, and that was a couple of years ago. So.
I think for me, it was always one that I always like. I knew things about the story features like the first companion death, you know, in Katerina. I knew it featured the first appearance of Nicholas Courtney in Doctor Who as well. But it was always one that obviously fascinated me as well because growing up, I mean, Daleks are king, aren't they?
Yes,
They're what we
absolutely.
love, you know. I've got enough of them from B&M. There's enough crude oil on my shelf, you know. But so, you know, and I remember seeing it in books like I think it's Aliens and Monsters were one of the first ones they did, and I can remember it so vividly of Eccleston and Billy and a Dalek on the front of it, and then you go through there and it tell you about all the different stories. I remember just there being absolutely nothing but the one episode of Dalek Masterplan, or sorry, the 2 episodes, wasn't it? They had actually, because they had episode 2 and they had episode 5. Was it episode 5? Is it? Yeah, yeah. They had those, but there was not much else to it, so it just made it really seem even bigger and more epic in my sort of 14, 15-year-old head. That I was thinking, what is this epic that we're missing? This span of episodes. So to actually be able to, not just see the first part of it, but see like a sizable chunk, the first 3 episodes now, essentially, it really, I mean, it's really made me think that, my God, Douglas Camfield.
I
oh
mean,
my God,
that is the name on everybody's lips at the moment. Are we going in? Are we just going in?
I think that's just look. I had a whole bit where I was going to make everyone think that we're going to talk about Project Hail Mary. Like I had a whole thing.
I mean, I do want to talk about Project Hail Mary because we're both obsessive about Project
Hail Mary. I get it.
Of course, we're actually here to discuss the story of a human space traveler as he's aided in his mission to save the human race from destruction in a journey across the stars, as he's aided by a plucky, funny, heartwarming alien who has captured the nation's hearts. Amaze, amaze, amaze. It's not Project Hail Mary. It's Dalek's master plan.
Oh, beautiful. That's a lovely bit. Sorry, I shouldn't have ruined your bit.
No, you didn't. It's fine. No, you're golden.
Amaze, 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 indeed.
Yeah, Douglas Camfield. I'm going to give the GOAT status right now, just for there are so many just shots in this that are just works of art. Whether it be like those first ones they gave out when they announced, where straight away. New old Hartnell footage is always going to get me excited, but
it's so exciting to see, isn't it? It's so surreal seeing it for the first and knowing that like I said, there's people who've it's the fact as well that there's it's not even one that got repeated or anything, and obviously I know it has not been seen since 1960 whatever it is, 1965. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, as obviously I'm gonna refer to the screening a few times. Obviously, I was at the Riverside. I was at the screening at Riverside on Easter Saturday. No, I wasn't specially invited. No, I'm not an important fan. I got very, 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 very lucky by just happening to ring the box office at exactly the right time. And this is a very funny story. I rang the box office just out of hit it and hope because the website obviously wasn't working and everyone was trying. And I rang the box office and I was like, I'm never going to get through here. And somehow I just managed to get through. And I was 8th in the call queue. And then I got to the front and the guy on the phone, bless him, he didn't even say hello. He just went, "Are you here for Doctor Who?" He sounded so fucking done. I assume I can swear.
Oh yeah.
He sounded so fucking done. And I was this is 12 minutes past. He is absolutely just been bombarded. And he was just yeah, here you go, 3 tickets, done, bye. So I got very, very lucky. And it was a mad day, a mad way to watch it, because obviously the room was filled with some people from Who history. Peter Purvis was there, Stephen Moffat was there, Nick Briggs was there, and but aside from all that, the real highlight was just being able to watch these episodes. And obviously I held out. I didn't watch them before I went. And they actually did a show of hands of who did, and basically no one in the room watched them before they went. Everyone had held off the extra day, because after 60 odd years, what's an extra day?
Yeah.
but to just to bathe in it and just to be like, you know, the weirdness of the room around me and the people in it just dissipated the moment those titles hit, and it was just, oh wow, this is the main event. This is basically the dog's bollocks. But yeah, the name on everybody's lips that day was Douglas Camfield, because he's just, I mean, I think there was never really any doubt that he was one of Doctor Who's all-time great directors anyway. But I think this has just really put a spotlight on, because he's fantastic in all of the other stories that he's directed as well. But these two in particular, I'd say episode one as well in particular, out of the two, is like, how are you doing this? How are you operating on this level with the restraints that are around you, and it's the camera movement. How are you doing it? Because it's just not what you see in a lot of classic Doctor Who, especially the 60s stuff, because it's all shot sort of as a play, and the cameras are often very static, and he's just flying these cameras around these studios like he's fucking Steven Spielberg, and it's incredible, and it's beautiful to see. Especially episode one, the direction just blew me away.
There's so
incredible.
many little moments where I just
Yeah.
like on my second and my third watch, I just had to pause it and just sort of bask in it. Just, obviously I wasn't lucky as yourself to be there at the Riverside to see it on, and I can only imagine. I already know just how wonderful it is seeing an episode on a big screen. Like having been to previous Riverside, having been to BFIs,
Yeah.
but to see something like that, to like almost feel as if you could step through the screen into.
Honestly, incredible. Absolutely incredible. And it was lovely getting to watch, because they showed episode two as well. So getting all three in a row, because episode two is fantastic as well. All three of them are just great episodes of Doctor Who. But I'm literally just in the background now. I'm getting the episode up so I can just skim through, and I just know that I'm gonna just go to a random point and just find just a little work of genius. Like, for example, like Mavic Chen on the screen, on the big screen, and how good that looks for 1965. And it's like, it's absolutely like just groundbreaking stuff. It's like, there's some amazing shots in there. Like there's the shot of like Brett obviously sort of by the TARDIS and the Doctor's there. There's like these lovely like split shots. There's when the Doctor's sort of spying on the Daleks, and there's a lovely shot of him like in the foreground with the Daleks sort of operating in the background. And that horrible shot of the corpse. The character's name is just
No, I know it's Brett's mate, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
For me as well, it's the shot of him when he falls and he looks up and the Dalek's there.
Oh,
like
God.
that's just
It's incredible, isn't it? Yeah, I have to find out this character's name. Kurt. It's Kurt Gantry. There we go. Yeah, so Kurt's obviously the shot of Kurt's corpse where his mouth is just agape is horrifying, and sort of pushing the limits of, Mary Whitehouse sort of kicks off about that 20 years later, and they were whacking it on a kids' TV show in the 60s. It's a family show, I know. Don't come at me for calling it a kids' show. Do you know when you just hear the comments typing already before, as you say something, and you're just like, I've got to get ahead of this. I know it's not a kids' show. I know it's a family show. I know that it's not just for kids. I know, but it was shown to kids anyway.
Yeah, no, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. So many bits in it. Even like from the start, the as we come into the TARDIS, and got a close up on Stephen.
And Stephen's nipple. Don't
Yeah.
forget the nipple. The
Of
nipple is the
course,
star
of
of
course.
the show. of
People have
course.
been very, very incessant to talk about Stephen's nipples.
Oh, why wouldn't there be?
I know.
Yeah.
It's what I quite love about that is Hartnell seems very unbothered about Stephen being shirtless and just fucking dying. in the TARDIS.
Yeah. He's just like, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll be all right, guys. It's fine. Yeah, no, one thing I did say while we were there, I was talking to George and Richard, Clever Dick Films, about it. Was I felt that these two episodes in particular coming back are great because watching them there, it sort of felt like the episode one, while the performances were fantastic, it felt like the director's showcase. It felt like this is Douglas Camfield's episode, right? And then episode three, while again the direction is great, it felt like these performances are incredible.
Yes,
and it's like that. It just felt like the perfect two to come back because they showcase the actors and the crew like it's like they've got a whole episode to themselves each. Because Hartnell is, I mean, again, he's great in episode one, but episode three, he's just got that twinkle in his eye, and
it is, isn't it? It's that shine that he has. He's we've spoken about it before how when he starts off with Susan, he's quite grumpy, but then when he gets Vicky, he starts to get a bit more like goblin.
it's
doesn't
like
he?
he
It's
hates Susan.
lovely. Yeah,
it's
it
like
really
he hates
is.
Susan,
Yeah,
and he really loves Vicky. And I understand that because I love Vicky, and Vicky is one of my all-time favorite Doctor Who companions. So I would be the same if I was around Vicky. Vicky would lighten my mood. But it is like a carryover from that, and it's really lovely because it's like obviously this is the era where Hartnell is beginning to wane, and obviously there's a few line flubs in there as you would want for a Hartnell story, because it's not a Hartnell story without a little line flub in there, because that just makes it.
I liken it to, and this is very topical, I liken it to the Mario jump in Legend of the Sea Devils. I wouldn't want the cut of that without that. I don't want a Hartnell story without a couple flubs.
Yes,
absolutely.
It's
so even though it's it's a flub, it's so endearing.
Yeah,
it really is.
And it just puts you right in that era. That's the beautiful thing, and it's why I loved it's like some of the Stephen Noonan stuff on Big Finish when they've intentionally put in a few things that could be interpreted. Fucking hell, Josh! I'm doing Hartnell line flubs now.
Yes, we've already established this place as illogical
and interpreted as line flubs, and they put a few of those in there, and it just makes you feel like you're in a Hartnell story, and it's perfect. But he's just electric, and his relationship, especially with Katerina, and however brief it is so lovely, because again it's sort of that carryover from Vicky, and it's nice. It's like, he learns from Susan and he takes that into his relationship with Vicky, and he acts less like a grumpy grandfather and is more of a friend, and is more of a more open to fun with Vicky. And then that just keeps progressing further into the Doctor we obviously know today. And it's lovely to see. Hartnell he's got so many great moments, like him and Brett as well, and him obviously Nicholas Courtney.
Josh, are you ready for a Brett summer?
I bet it is Brett summer. It is absolutely Brett summer. Him and Brett are just, the bickering is really, really funny and really, really well done. And I mean, half of that is Nicholas Courtney, because he is, as always, just electric to watch, and it's great to have his first appearance in Doctor Who, obviously not as the Brigadier, but as Brett. And yeah, they just bounce. Everyone in this is just bouncing off each other in wonderful, wonderful ways. It's so well performed all the way through.
It's so funny with, we talk about Nicholas Courtney there, playing Brett in this, who, like you said, goes on to play the Brigadier. You would think in the EU somewhere someone would have retconned, he's a descendant, but no, apparently completely separate.
Untempered ground. Never been done.
I think
never felt the need to Fires of Pompeii this shit, basically.
I think that's great.
Never felt the need to Belinda Chandra this shit out of this.
I wanna focus in on Katerina a second as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Her performance in these 2 episodes, I've adored how she bounces off Stephen. The sort of, obviously, she's from ancient Troy. She's got no sort of bearing of this. She calls the TARDIS a temple and all that at one point even as well, which they expand on. Big Finish, if no one's checked out before, if you've never listened to Daughter of the Gods, which is Big Finish's answer to what if Doctor Who did like a 5th anniversary special, Katerina is a massive part of that. And
I've never heard this. I need to.
Josh,
I've heard of it.
Genuinely,
I really need to get onto that one.
But to actually see more of her performance and how Hartnell, he basically takes under his wing like a Vicky, in a way as well. He has that goblin grandad energy with her, which is so lovely. And
goblin grandad.
Yeah, you know what I mean. He's.
I know exactly what you mean. I mean, it's a pretty bang on description.
So it's so lovely to see. She's so caring for Stephen in it. Obviously, she has naivety in being a young girl, but also being from an ancient time. It's such a lovely and original idea for a companion that we don't see as much now, which would be so lovely because it's not just, even if you look at someone like in Big Finish, Charlie, let's say, who's from the 1800s, she has an idea of technology that she can almost, appreciate.
Yeah, there's less of a gap.
Yes,
there's less of a gap there. So, there's ways to explain it in her terms because it's not that far removed. But when it comes to Katerina, it's like, how do you explain a computer to Katerina? Like, it's basically magic. You the only way to distinguish it is from magic, and that's how she sees the world. And that is, again, I'd say, obviously, I said at the screening, the name on everyone's lips was Douglas Camfield, but the other name was Katerina. She was the real star because I heard so many people saying, you just never got this. You never got this from what we had of her because there was basically nothing other. She was basically entirely missing, and it's the kind of performance that you can understand why in an audio format or in a reconstruction it could get lost because she's got this airy fairy kind of nature about her, and she's sort of drifting through, and it's not a big bold performance. It doesn't necessarily stand out, and that's why I think maybe she's gone under the radar and sort of just been dismissed a little bit as a Doctor Who companion.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I think growing up we always had the names Katerina and Adric, and obviously we had all of Adric, so we could watch all that, and it always, you always came back to her because she was the first one that the Doctor lost, in terms of in a story. So she was almost legendary in that sense. So to actually see her as a character more, it really adds much more weight to that depth that, spoilers, that we're talking about a 60-year-old story here, everybody. Come on, if you don't know about Katerina,
guys.
I'm just imagining the cut of the giggle where the toy maker's going, and Katerina. And the Doctor's sort of like, fair cop. I can't say anything about that one.
No. That was well. It's fascinating because Especially because with Dalek's Masterplan, you've sort of got three of this type of companion because you've also got Brett Vine and Sarah King. All three of them are sort of one and done within this story, really. Obviously, Katharina comes in the Mythmakers, but because so much of this story is missing, I feel like they do just sort of get lumped together as like the nearly companions and the not so companions, and I feel like this has shown, especially obviously, especially with Brett and Katerina, it's really shown that they're not that. They are the real deal in because of how wonderful these characters are on screen. And yeah, Katerina and the Doctor's relationship was an absolute highlight, especially in episode 3. Wonderful little moments, and it's such a great idea, as you said, for a companion to essentially she's sort of everything around her feels like magic because she's from so far in the past. So her only sort of way to cope with it is to sort of view this as sort of some sort of like purgatory and some sort of way to paradise. And ultimately it leads to her death. And obviously there's a lot of hints towards her death, especially in episode 3. There's a lot of foreshadowing of her death. Like, and there was that moment where, she says to the Doctor, like, I'll always feel safe with you. And in the screening, everyone just went, oh, God. And it hit so much harder just seeing her on screen and seeing this performance. And that there's obviously that shot that everyone's talking about where she's, got her hand out looking at the stars. And it's just lovely, lovely stuff to see. And it's so nice that we've now basically got most of, at least the middle chunk anyway, of her story. It'd be like, the 14th Doctor, but you've only got Wild Blue Yonder. Like, it's basically these 3 episodes are sort of where you get the bulk of Katerina, because she's not really in the Mythmakers that much. So to have these 2 found is lovely. And that was another thing about the screening, was they had a lot of the family members of the people involved in the production there, because obviously Peter Purvis is basically the only person left at this point. And he was there and it was beautiful, but they also had Douglas Camfield's son there. They had William Hartnell's granddaughter, Jessica Carney was there as well. And they had Adrian Hill's son, daughter and grandchildren all there as well, watching it. And that was sort of a part of the day where the emotion sort of hit you of like, to sort of have this moment to honour these people. And there was a great moment in particular where Peter Purvis sort of stopped mid talk when they were doing the sort of the interviews afterwards, and pointed out Douglas Camfield's son in the audience. And you can hear this. I think the Film is Fabulous have just posted them today, so you can go and listen to this. But he just sort of stopped and pointed at him and said, "Your dad was one hell of a director." And it really hit. And it was just this beautiful thing that all of these incredible people came together in ramshackle conditions and made something so cool and so amazing and so well made that people give a shit 60 years later when someone finds it in a shed. That's something special. It really is something special. I've sort of gone off topic here, but I feel, because I've never really had a special connection to Dalek's Masterplan or anything. It's never been a story that I've been obsessed with returning. It was just sort of one of the 97, not to discredit it or anything. It's just, I'm
Just
quite
say it,
new
Josh.
to the...
You wanted the Space Pirates back.
I wanted the Space Pirates!
Good guess, but actually no.
No, it's because I'm quite relatively in my life, I'd say, over the past sort of 5-6 years, new to the world of Classic Who. I delved into it in lockdown. So a lot of these stories don't have that history baked in for me, or the nostalgia of like reading the targets or listening to the audios and or watching the reconstructions as a kid. The emotion of just the idea behind it. The fact that we all just are obsessed with this silly little show, and it's because of episodes like this that kicked it all off, and all of these amazing people. It's just mad, isn't it? It's all mad. The fact that these were found in a shed, and the collector who owned them didn't even know what he had, and now it's bringing joy to so many people around the world. It's just an incredible thing, isn't it?
Isn't it? It's yet another story of Doctor Who bringing us all together for something good, something positive, which
is
we
needed.
need. Yes.
We do need it. It's very much needed at the moment, and it's been lovely. Everyone was sort of joined together in elation about this return and about these stories, and that was sort of the vibe of the whole thing on Saturday at the screening. It was lovely to sort of experience it with other fans, and Toby Haydock was hosting, and he was fantastic. And what a representative of the fandom, to sort of lead us into this as the nightmare begun, you may say. But yeah, incredible. It's just incredible, isn't it?
It so is. I'm so jealous of you being in that room, but at the same time,
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel because I keep talking about it.
no, please don't.
But it's just great for everyone to be able to watch these, and I'm sure everybody who watched them, now you've seen them, you don't. It doesn't really matter about the screen. You watch the episodes, and we've got them back, and it's fantastic.
Fantastic.
And wherever you watch them, however you watch them, I was very lucky to get an incredible set of circumstances to watch it. But yeah, what an amazing thing to have happen.
I like to think that Douglas Campfield is very proud of my first watch of episode 1 on my phone.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I mean it's clearer and maybe even bigger than some TVs.
Look, this is
back in the day. So
this is something I wanted to say. The restoration on these episodes.
Oh my god! So good.
Like, and because obviously episode 2 has existed in the archive for many years. I could almost see, like, the restoration on that is obviously nice as well, but I could see just how much work had gone into episodes 1 and 3 compared to that. It was gorgeous, like whether it be the sound or the picture as well. It all it sang together so beautifully. Like there are parts of it, because obviously it's black and white, and episode 1 features a lot of the jungle. Despite the fact it was in black and white, it's going to sound really stupid what I say now, but it felt colourful in the way
I know
it
what you
looked.
mean. I know exactly
like
what
the
you mean,
way it was dressed. Like you'd see like a Varga plant just sort of off there within the foliage, and then again we have that moment we talked about earlier where Kurt looks up and the Dalek is there over him. It's like, I don't know how else to describe it other than just saying, I could see colour in this.
No, I know what you mean. There's something to be said about the best black and white Doctor Who episodes sort of making you forget about the fact that colour is a very key component of film, especially these days, and sort of making you not really give a shit that there's no colour, and actually in some places be quite glad that there's no colour, because I feel like the fact that it's black and white just, again, adds to the atmosphere. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there who are already working on colorizations, which are going to look fantastic. But yeah, it just looked good. I'm just so grateful that they're Camfield episodes, because, again, watching them on the big screen are just so cinematic. I mean, watching them on any screen is just gorgeous to watch. Yeah, I'm sort of lost for words, because it's just quite which isn't great for a podcast. I apologise.
Not at all.
But yeah, no, I mean, there's obviously some funny moments in there as well, which got good chuckles out of me and many others. I mean, Zephon is an icon, an absolute icon, doing the weapons run basically, but very slowly around around the place, arms out, just and
Do you know what? I'll tell you what
sorry,
made
go
me
on.
laugh about him. He sounds a lot like George from Rainbow. So
Yes, and we're all good friends too, aren't we?
so he sounds a lot like Keir Starmer, and I was like, "Oh yes, Mavic Chen.
Mavic-
My father
Mavic
was a
Chen.
toolmaker."
My dad was a toolmaker.
My dad was a toolmaker.
He was skilled as a toolmaker, highly skilled.
And your dad, I think it's right to say, was a toolmaker.
I can't wait to build a fantastic diplomatic relationship with you, Mavic Chen. It's not my best Keir Starmer. I have done better, but you know, it's great that that SNL, and in the greatest possible terms, hello, drops at the same weekend. Yeah, Zephon is Keir Starmer is not what I expected out of this podcast, but I'm glad we got there.
Oh, it's fine. There's so many little moments in those episodes. Like just
Zephon's father was a toolmaker.
Yeah, that's one. That's one joke I had down, but I'm glad you did it because your style was better than mine. You know, so I'll take it. You know, I love the introduction of Mavic Chen as well. The way they frame it in the space security service. You know, watching a broadcast and how. You know, you've got the woman who's just quite into it. You know, the bloke is there, sort of being. I like to think of him as the Jack Alexander or the Josh Carr, sort of being like, "Oh, these fucking politicians." Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Guardian of the solar
when he's
system.
miming along with it at the exact same time, it's like that's such a great moment that would have just been lost forever, really. But it's just so funny and so well played. Yeah, great introduction. Mavic Chen has got some great moments throughout. Obviously, you know, aside from the problematic implications of the character, which you know we're well aware of.
We heard it a couple of years ago because remember, Josh, Mavic Chen. You know, remember Mavic Chen.
But the Time War, Pandorica, Mavic Chen.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. Yeah. And there is that fantastic bit that I just have to point out where he's just leaning on the wall by the Daleks, and he just looks like he's just doing the nonchalant gimmick, basically, just like this on the wall. And I also think like a Dalek. I need to rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure a Dalek like basically tries to run over his foot, and he's just like, I'm not going anywhere. Yes, very good. I mean, obviously Kevin Stoney is a bit of a Doctor Who legend because of the invasion, anyway. But yeah, trying to think of other points to make. You're the one with the notes. I've come unprepared.
I've got so many moments. This is one which really sort of, you know, we talk about how this is quite emotional. This one really sort of got me. There's a moment where Brett looks broken on the jungle floor, and you know he's, as far as he's aware, his entire team are gone. The characters from Mission to the Unknown as well, who weirdly, you know, they play a part in this as well. Mark Corey obviously comes back into it from that, which I was fresh in my mind having watched the reconstruction done by I say the reconstruction, the remounting of Mission,
basically the everything.
Yeah, by the University of Lancaster. And it's a amazing thing they did there. There's a moment where he's there broken on the floor and you just hear the TARDIS sound come in. Yeah. And he looks, and it just reminded me, because Day of the Doctor's always on my mind, it reminded me of that line of, you know, everywhere that sound is heard, it brings hope.
Yeah.
And I just thought, there it is.
Someone needs to put that line over that shot in a little fan edit.
This one's for you, Josh.
That sound brings hope wherever it goes.
Oh, that goes so hard. There's that again, like I said, Brett is one of the stars of especially episode 1. Like the whole interaction with Kurt, and before they sort of split up, and I mean it's sort of heavily implied. It's quite hilarious because obviously we were all laughing at before it came out about the chaos of Hartnell's wig, and it's sort of implied that Brett engages the Doctor in the gentle art of fisticuffs.
Shall we have a fight scene? No, let's just fuck up Bill's wig a bit. You know,
fuck up the wig, get him in the TARDIS. There's quite a few moments where like we do just. It feels like there's a scene missing. That's. I mean, I'm not going to criticize it. It's just that is true because obviously Brett sort of just arrives at the TARDIS and then the Doctor's just dishevelled and we've got no idea what happened there. We assume it was a fight scene. I'm pretty sure that's what's happened. But then also later on, we don't see them leaving the TARDIS. We just sort of cut to Katarina and Stephen just on the floor, and Stephen's feeling a bit better after he's had, a couple of ibuprofen. And yeah, I mean, it didn't take away from the episode in the slightest because it's still great fun. But there was a couple of moments there where I was like, whoa, have we missed a bit? Is there still parts of this missing? Oh no, we need to hunt again.
Keep going, please, Phil.
Check your
Phil is fabulous.
Check
Keep
your
going,
sheds, everyone. We've lost a scene.
Oh, there's so many bits though, which we talk about Bill's wig there, which I thought was so funny.
Star of the show,
and he has
an absolute star of the show.
He has that
Bill's
lovely
wig,
bit as well, where he's like, "Oh yes, you're going to engage me in brain, in brawn. I mean brain," and it's he has this lovely bit there, and he has this bit as well, which was I think he goes like, "Oh, 1 or 2 questions I must have answered," and I heard that bit and I was like, that's Stephen Noonan. That's and I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Noonan's impression. I was like, that's where Noonan's got a bit of it.
Yeah.
Just the way he said that bit, like I must have answered. I was like, oh, that's Noonan right there.
Yeah. I bet I mean, I hope maybe Stephen is listening to this. I hope so. If he is, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this is just giving you a little bit more water in the well to sink your teeth into and work from. But not that you need it, because Noonan's Hartnell is fantastic. But that's what this felt like, was like, because those Big Finish stories capture the era so well. This felt just like listening to one of those because it was so new. But then you've just got the visuals combined as well. There's so many good moments in this. It's mad that just for 50 minutes there's so many standout moments.
I got another one here. This is one of my favourite notes. Is Maverick Chen, like many politicians, pretends to be a nice guy, but is actually a massive tool.
Maverick Chen is a tool.
Yeah.
Zefon is Keir Starmer, also a tool.
From episode 2, I have to say as well, the image of Daleks with flamethrowers is never not going to be fucking metal.
Oh yeah,
cool.
So cool. It's where are they? How have they not come? Have we had Daleks with flamethrowers in New Who? We should have done.
I feel like we've seen a claw at one point which had a little flame.
Yeah, we've had the claws. We need a big fuck off flamethrower, don't we?
Yeah, we
need those back. Burning down the jungle.
What else have I written? The Doctor stealing the core of the time disruptor is absolute cinema. The way the Daleks and the Council scramble.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so.
We haven't even spoken about the Daleks.
Yes,
it's Dalek's Masterplan, and we've not talked about the Daleks. Yeah. The Daleks are great in this. But someone at the screening said, like, this is some of the best Dalek voices we've heard. Like, this is the best they've been. But they are great in this, and they've got some great little schemy little moments of sneaking around, and someone pointed out as well that we hear a Dalek whisper. A Dalek whispers just very gently. I want someone to put Careless Whisper over that.
Star. I mean,
Star.
I was making it before you even mentioned my name.
It was expected.
Yeah, I say in my notes as well that I love the Daleks in this. I love that Terry Nation. He shows a lot of restraint, because I feel like every Dalek moment is a banger. There's no Dalek for the sake of Daleks. They're done with such restraint, which really
they're
adds
not in
to...
it. You're right. They're not in it an insane amount, but when they are, they kick into gear. It's sort of that Jaws effect of, less is more sometimes. But like you said, that shot of them, obviously when Kurt Gantry gets killed and you've got that upwards shot of the Dalek is incredible. You've got the flamethrower shots, you've got the shots of them sort of all moving in unison, which again, like, just being able to do that and shoot it so beautifully. When they're basically just, Flintstoning this shit and kicking their feet really to move a Dalek across some uneven BBC studio floor, probably covered in wires leading to big hulking cameras that Douglas Camfield is moving around like he's filming it on a fucking iPhone is just incredible. Fantastic.
It's so wonderful, and I think speaking to Camfield again, but also to Nation Script, that, and maybe just the set design as well, that all this is done in studio, but each location in the story, it has such varied locations, and like each one feels real, like the jungle, the city, the council room, the prison planet caves, the spaceships, so like the model done for that for Mavic Chen's. I think it's called it's his spa, isn't it? Yeah. Like the last time I went into a spa was for a can of Monster and a Kit Kat Crunchy.
Spa, there for you.
This is not an advertisement.
But,
Exactly. I grew up near a spa, but it was not like Mavic Chen's, I will tell you that.
I love, because you can see exactly what it is. Again, the model and the way it spins around.
Oh yeah, those shots were fantastic. Like, so well done. And another shot that everybody is talking about is the shot of that prison planet, which I can't remember what it's called right now. Desfius or Desposito. Yeah. There we go. That shot where it's obviously like a matte painting style with a silhouette, and then you've got those tiny little moving flames as the obviously the prisoners are sort of moving towards the ship. It's just beautifully done. Again, just absolutely cooking on gas. They were. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I feel like I just keep saying it's fantastic.
No,
but
we're going to with this. It's just, I hate that I hate it when they send me to the prison planet and put a big D on my back, though.
Yeah. What is that planet called? That's why they've got a D on their back, surely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
that planet begins with a D.
It's a D. I know it's a D word. Planet. Yeah. Dickhead, I don't know.
Yeah, they all go to Planet Dickhead.
That's it,
This is the wonderful insight you get on.
Yeah. I feel like we are just going to devolve into saying, "Oh, it's good. Oh, it's good. Oh, it's wonderful. It's beautiful." So what I will say is that obviously it pops up at the end of episode 3. That episode 4, The Traitors, unfortunately, is lost from the archive. But at the same time, BBC have got a very popular spin-off of called The Traitors, and so I'm guessing episode 5, Claudia joins the Dalek Council.
Get Claudia Winkleman out of that airlock now. She's a national treasure. You can't lose her and Katerina.
But I tell you what, if the rest of the story is as good as these 3 episodes, I'm I'm hoping they find more. I'm definitely going to go back in for the reconstructions, actually, just to sort of get a bit more of the story.
Well, I'm sure it'll be easier now.
Mm.
Like, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about finding these episodes is it's not just having the episodes themselves. It means that, you know, you've now got nearly half of Dalek's master plan found, which is lovely, which means that when you're watching it, you've got better visualization, you know, for set design and things like that. They've got more things to pull from for reconstructions. If they ever want to animate it, it's so much easier now because there's only, obviously it's still 7 episodes to animate, but, you know, they've got a lot more reference points to go from.
Look, give Rob Ritchie a dream and he'll deliver.
Yes, give Rob, I mean, but then obviously you do have the problem that because they have to sort of sell it as an entire package, they do sort of have to animate the ones that exist as well, which, you know, is a bit of a catch-22, I guess, for them, because it's like, well, you can't just sell half an animation. They sometimes animate the full thing. But, you know, it gets it further along, closer, and, you know, there's hope. That's the amazing thing.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because there's even whispers that they might have found more as well.
So my understanding from being at the screening and from other things that I've read, I mean, mainly from Paul Vanezis, who is obviously knows a lot about these things. You know, the vibe I got from him at the screening when they were doing his talk was hope. And I know he said on a forum, like, I mean, he'd previously said that he was aware of at least, I think, a couple of missing episodes in private collections, and someone has asked them, were these the ones? And he said no. So we know others exist. That's the key takeaway, is basically these were bonus finds, basically, compared to the ones that they already know exist.
Yeah. I suppose what brings me to my last question before we look at the audience, the reprobates, as I like to call them.
Yes.
What would be your most wanted if they were, like, again, this is already a holy grail of holy grails to have 2 more episodes of Master Plan.
Yeah.
What would be your most hoped for?
I would actually say my answer has maybe changed to the rest of this. What I've loved about this is that getting these 2 episodes, I think, has been the key for me seeing what other people see in Master Plan and being like, oh, I get it. Now I really want to see the rest of this. And I'm really excited, as I said, to go back into the rest of the story and find and revisit the other episodes that we've got as well. I'm fascinated to see if I view them in a different light now I've seen this. And I'm excited to just watch more classic. I mean, ones that I would want returned. I mean, I'm gonna be really boring. Obviously, Marco Polo is always gonna be
top of my list.
Yeah, it's always gonna be near the top of the list. I'm having a look now at ones. The massacre I'd love, purely for I'd love that speech in particular to be found. That would be a lovely one. And a bit more Troughton as well. I mean, it would be nice to see some more Troughton, because it'd be nice to have, obviously his episodes were the last ones returned before this. It was obviously Enemy of the World and something else. Web of Fear, that was the one, completely forgot. I would love a bit more Troughton. I'd say now my answer has definitely changed. I genuinely think Dalek's Master Plan has sort of shot to the top of the list. And again, like, that's the other thing. The other hope is that, there's this has unearthed way more possibilities than anyone ever thought was ever going to be around in terms of, like, I'm by no means an expert on this. I defer to people like Paul Vanezes or Josh Snares for missing episodes information. But things like the information about like cutting copies and how that has basically just opened up this whole new wheelhouse of potential for missing episodes is so exciting. I genuinely would, I don't want to be that fan who's just like, more, bring me more.
And let's face it,
feels like we should be
unfortunately,
expecting something fairly soon, like more soon. I think it's, and even if we have to wait another 10 years or another 15 or another 20, which I don't think, if I'm honest, from the vibe that I'm getting from everybody who's talking about these, who knows what they're talking about a lot more than I do, I don't think we're going to be waiting that long. And that's exciting because just more of days like this is going to be incredible. But yeah, I'm very hopeful. I can't wait. I just hope that number just keeps ticking down and down and down. Even if we can get into the 80s someday in my lifetime, if we get into the 80s of missing episodes, I can die a happy man.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that, obviously the best case scenario is we get them all back because lost media is fucking bullshit. Let's face it.
It is. It's sad. It's sad, but it also brings us days like this. Would we appreciate it if it as much if it had never been gone? Who knows? At least it gives the opportunity for these to get their moment in the spotlight. That's one small mercy for a silver lining in a sad situation that a lot of these stories are never going to be found, and hopefully a bit of hope that some of them will.
Fingers crossed. And with that hope, let's head on over to what you all think, you awful people. It's time for the Space-Time Telegraph. Lovely. Okay, Space-Time Telegraph, for those of you who do not know, is our audience send-in section. So we will post that on social media and we'll ask for responses, whether it be through Twitter, Instagram, or different things, or posting our Discord server, or even, what I quite like, is when people send in a good old-fashioned email. Oh, I love an email.
People never email into Who Knew. I think I've had one email in 5 years. Use the email, guys. I really like it because also it means that it gets me off them fucking hell sites.
Yeah. First one comes from the Hellscape, that is Twitter. Queer Doctor Who at JG Yorkie1 says, I wish we had more episodes found, but it's a great positive start to the year for Doctor Who.
I do hope this is, the start of something and then we find more. Absolutely.
Lovely, right. Okay, next one's coming from Instagram. We had quite a few on Instagram this time around, which is very nice. First one over on Instagram comes from the Silly Goose Ginger Cat. The Dalek Masterplan, always a story I wanted more of, but one I never dared dream we'd see return again. And what a pair of returns to end this 12-plus year streak where I'd started believing we'd never see anything else return. Having already watched the reconstructions of the returned episodes, I knew what we were in for, but it's not the same as actually being able to watch the episodes, to see the little nuances in William Hartnell's performance, and the Devil's Planet in particular was a true delight. It had some amazing visuals, especially the shot of the torches over the landscape of Desperus. There you go, Josh. That's what it's called.
Desperus. That's what I said, Desposito.
Yeah, that's what you said, yeah. Reminding us how much of a master of his art Douglas Camfield was. Seeing the exchange of banter between Stephen and Brett, or how warm the relationship between the Doctor and Katerina was, absolutely wonderful, which just can't be conveyed via a photo reconstruction. And it all makes the fates of both Katerina and Brett in the following episode hit even harder. I pray we don't have to wait 20 years for that one to turn up. Many missing Doctor Who episodes don't live up to the mythologizing.
Hartnell flub.
Their absence creates, but I'll say these two truly did. Nightmare Begins, more like a dream come true, I would say.
Oh, lovely stuff. That was very well put. Yes,
so
nicely.
well put.
Nicely done. Love it.
Very lovely, yeah.
Completely agree with all of that.
Absolutely, yeah. Next one comes from the Faulty Sardis. I'm saving these 2 episodes for next weekend to watch, as I have some time then. It's a shame there's still 7 missing episodes of the serial, though, but I'm going to watch episodes 1 to 3. And they also ask, would you suggest also watching episodes 5 and 10, or leaving those as there's too big a gap with the missing ones?
I would say, again, it'd be hypocritical for me to recommend it when I haven't done it myself, but I am going to be doing it. Maybe try. This is the thing that's always been recommended to me, is the audio with Peter Purvis's linking narration. I think maybe that is a great way to try and experience the story. I mean, if you can try and get your hands on the reconstructions, try them. Just try it, you know. But I'm definitely excited to watch the other 2 episodes that we've got as well. But yeah, I don't know. It's whatever floats your boat. I suppose it depends on your experience with reconstructions and your experience with 60s Who, really, as to whether you feel comfortable with it. But I'd say this is maybe a good place to dive in when you've got the first 3 all fully there, looking so good, that hopefully that can then set your imagination going quite well, rather than starting with a reconstruction. That's always quite tough.
I completely agree with that. I would recommend what I'm going to do. I've done 1 to 3. I've done 1 to 3 separate times now since they came out, just because I love them that much. I'm going to find the loose cannon reconstruction for 4, and then I'm going to do episode 5, and I might leave it there. Maybe I might try and seek out there's 2 targets that cover Dalek Masterplan in its entirety, so I might try and seek those out and go for there. Next one comes from Erin Natalia, a friend of the show. It's very cool. They're still finding episodes to this day. This is my first missing episode that I've watched, and my first Hartnell episode. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Hey,
wow. Great first Hartnell episode as well. It's a great one to get him and sort of shake off the preconceptions and the misconceptions about him being just the grumpy old one, because he's really got so much sparkle, especially in these ones. I think it's nice for your first experience of Hartnell to be sort of the later era of Hartnell, where, you know, post Susan, him and Vicky and him and Katerina, great little ways to
like
see
when
a
he
different
starts
side to him.
being the Doctor. Really, like, you know, when he really takes on that you know, learning from Ian and Barbara, really.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
When Ian, Barbara, and Susan have all gone, that's when it feels like that initial sort of kick off the side of the cliff into the Doctor's character development journey, where he really starts becoming the Doctor that we know.
I was going to say, Natalia does carry on to say, and I love this as well, they say that I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought it would. I expected a much slower pace, but I thought it was great. Here's hoping they don't take another 60 years to find part 4. And that's something I forgot to say when I was talking about as well. The pacing of these episodes is so fantastic. Like we've all been sat there in the BFI during a 6-parter, and we've got to episode 3, and we've gone, oh fuck hell, got another.
We've found, episodes 3 and 4, especially if a 6-parter, can be a struggle, especially at the BFI, especially for us, because usually we've had to do a lot of traveling to get there.
Yes,
and we've had to get up quite early. And it's a long day, and it's a tiring day.
I'm going to head on over to the An Awful Lot of Running email now, which, again, I love having these in. So please, people send them in.
Send the emails. Go analog.
Yes.
As if emails are analog, but you know what I mean.
Oh.
Go retro.
First one is a cracker. A friend of the show, co-host of the Says Who podcast, which is currently my new favourite Doctor Who podcast.
It's also my new favourite Doctor Who podcast. I was listening about a couple of hours ago to their Fires of Pompeii episode. I am slowly working my way through their back catalogue, and it is a joy to listen to. It's so fun.
Well, this is from Liam. This is good old Tip. He
Hello.
says, watching these episodes this weekend was magical. Douglas Camfield's direction is absolutely stellar. The tension is palpable, and the whole cast on top form. Whilst I think the serial as a whole ebbs and flows in quality, the first 3 episodes are absolutely the high point to me. And what a treat to have them all back in the archive. Great to see the pod back. Can't wait to listen to this one. I'm sure it's been a belter. Take care, lads. Tip.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Hello, Tip. Thank you.
Do you know, they got to get you on there sometime, lad. It's such a good time.
Well, look, it's balls in their court.
Yeah.
Watch this space, hopefully.
Next one comes from Giles Cosgrove. Giles says, "Hey guys, well that was brilliant, wasn't it? I saved it for a lazy Sunday afternoon whilst the beef joint was in the oven and the credits rolled in episode 3. I was
Roasting
sat there,
a beef, lovely.
God, he was sat there wishing that he could just reach for the remote and put on episode 4. It's got to be somewhere, right? If Boo Peter had that clip in the 70s, the whole film episode must have gone somewhere, right?"
Let's hope and pray. Let's hope and pray. One day.
One day I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back.
One day. Now back to the matter at hand. I have to say, I think the first episode of Dalek Masterplan is quite honestly perfect Doctor Who of any era. Agree with that? It's completely.
Yeah, it's real quintessential Doctor Who. That's the thing. It's got a bit of everything that you love, and yeah, it's a great opening episode. I'm actually, you just chatting about them has made me just want to go watch them again, because I've only watched them the once, and I might just start working my way through again, because that first episode is an absolute banger. It's so good.
And Giles, just echoing stuff we've spoken already, the Daleks are properly menacing. The reveal in the jungle is palpably frightening, and they're just plain scary. It's the first time that I've been able to see why people would hide behind the sofa from them. The voice acting especially clearly found a sweet spot that we wouldn't really get outside the 60s until 2005. Douglas Campfield's direction is genius. His camera positioning has often been rightfully praised, so I won't go all over trodden ground. Trodden ground.
Heart of flub.
That's what it is. All I'll say is notice that he rarely puts humans and Daleks side by side without doing something interesting with the camera either. The Daleks grow to the stature the scripts intend rather than the budget dictated as a result. Like I said, genius.
That's a lovely line. Yeah, that's perfect. That sums it up perfectly. Yeah.
Meanwhile, William Hartnell really does manage that H.G. Wells and Father Christmas blend so often discussed here. He can go from caring to dead serious at the drop of a hat. Katerina was a nice surprise. I've been led to believe she was a bit of a nothing companion who was only notable for her demise. Wrong, very wrong. I could have watched a lot more of her. Such an interesting concept. Such an interesting concept. There's another Hartnell flub for you there.
Hartnell
flub. Someone so wildly out of time traveling through the fourth dimension. Adrienne Hill's performance was enchanting. Episode 3 was great fun, but it felt part of a wider whole, whereas episode 1 had a pace and overarching feel that it could work in isolation. That said, the Daleks killing off Captain Seaward was a great watch. You knew it was coming, and the staging of the build-up felt almost fumbled in the moment. But as soon as the Dalek Supreme said execute, I sat thinking, this one does live up to the hype of all these years. Watching episode 2 in between highlighted just what Legends film is fabulous is, and the restore and R3 and how much effort has been taken to clean up and restore the picture. Hopefully the same treatment will be given to the audio in future, as there was some notable hiss through episode 1. But hey, sod it. These episodes have been missing for so long. I would have watched them upside down underwater with one eye closed and no goggles to see them.
Exactly.
This is
We're never happy, are we?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a little bit of a hiss. He's been in a shed for 60. Give it a break. Christ.
Cheers, Giles. That's lovely. And we've got one more email as well from the legendary Thomas Beach. Thomas Mad Beach. Hello, Jack, Josh, and Star.
Love Thomas Beach.
Oh. Hello, Jack, Josh, and Star. Wonderful to write in again for an awful. Firstly, how marvellous it is to have the first 3 stories of Masterplan to enjoy. It's the stuff dreams are made of. So now we have episodes 1 and 3. Are they any good? Absolutely. For context, my experience of Masterplan was purely the 5-hour tele-recording while working my Sainsbury's night shift and the episode 2 DVD release from The Sun back in 2005. So I knew the story going in. But to see it come alive with the camera work and the acting, the performances, the wig malfunctions was something uncanny. Douglas's directing makes the story really come alive, and the dynamic lighting and camera movements. Douglas was a Who director who could really film the Daleks well in classic era, alongside Graham Harper. The set work is astounding, turning what must have been a couple of feet worth of foliage into a sprawling jungle or a deserted planet takes such skill and imagination, which I adore about Doctor Who. Speaking of performances, I'm really pleased to have more Hartnell in the flesh. To see him in action is sublime. His interactions with Katerina being the sweet grandfatherly figure to what I can only describe as a jigsaw when Brett is in the magnet chair displays such a range for the Doctor. The Doctor's heroism in the episodes is a far cry from when he planned to crush a caveman's skull with a rock and an earthly child. I'm hoping to see some Hartnell appreciation from fans that will help break the stereotypes imposed on the first Doctor. Seeing Nicholas Courtney's debut in Who was such a delight. It's such a strange feeling to try and separate the Brigadier from Brett, but it's not that hard to do, actually. He felt right at home in the part, and his chemistry with Hartnell and Peter was splendid to see. Adrian Hill as Katerina was so lovely to see, but so bittersweet. Having known her fate, but seeing her performance in motion made me appreciate her death in episode 3 all the more. Her hand on the spaceship glass, her awe and wonderment at everything around her, the dead hand delivery of "We're in the underworld" made me love this companion so much. The Daleks, what can I say? They're incredible. How they glide, command a scene, how sassy they are. My favourite moment being the Dalek slamming its plunger on the table to really emphasise that Zaphon was late to the meeting and get Mavic Chen off his ass. The scene in part 3 when they all silently surround Zaphon to execute him gave me chills. While the staging was a wee bit clunky, the effect was super effective. I also have to add how well their Film is Fabulous team handled the restoration of the 2 episodes. Barely a scratch or audio error to be found. Compared to episode 2, I just hope the recovery of these episodes from a collector helps assess the argument against private collectors. If the episodes are being preserved, then I'd rather that be the case and know they're safe rather than potentially rotting somewhere because they haven't been appreciated. Finally, I just adore this story. I adore that we have more of it restored and an iPlayer to view and enjoy. It does fill me with hope for more discoveries and even more collectors to relinquish their hold of the episodes to charities like Film is Fabulous rather than treasure hunters like PM or IL. You know who you are. And then Josh, he's added an extra gold nugget because you haven't just got Thomas Beech's thoughts. You've got his dad, Pete Beech's thoughts as well.
Pete Beech, lovely.
Pete Beech, here he is. Pete Beech's thoughts. Okay.
It makes me want to sing, from Drive My Car by the Beatles. Pete Beech, yeah.
I'm sure
we should every time Pete Beech shows up on the show, I hope we get a little jingle. It's Pete Beech, yeah.
I'll leave that to Star because editing is too much like work for my ass to do.
Fine, I'll put it in the sound effects folder.
Pete Beech says, "I love them TARDIS levers. They look right out of a forklift." It's nice.
Pete Beech.
Yeah.
Pete Beech. That is fantastic stuff.
Here we go. He's got more. Okay?
Oh, bring me more.
Here we go. Okay. It's nice that the course of the episode is brilliant to say that it's been lost for so long. I have to ask, why do they have bald heads to work in the control room? and all the acting is so theatrical, very Shakespearean. When I first saw Marek Chen, this guardian of the solar system, I thought he looked a lot like Tom Jones. He acted a lot like the Master, honestly. Tom note, I reminded him that the Master was introduced in 73 just to avoid the War Chief shenanigans. The costumes are great. The dirt and detail on the space agents, despite not recognizing straight away, Nick Courtney's acting felt so familiar to the Brigadier when I saw him as a lad. The seaweed man was awesome to see. I wonder if they wrapped his hands and head with kelp. I appreciate the writing a lot.
There you go. There's another Beatles song.
Yeah.
Kelp. I need somebody. Kelp. Not just anybody.
Okay, I appreciate the writing a lot. The dialogue filling in gaps of the story. You get a sense of the history and colourful world building. The Daleks, I loved the jump scare, but it had me wondering if Daleks are meant to move silently or how they even move. Thomas explained it was like a bullet chain, magnets, or anti-gravity. Katerina is such a sweet companion.
It's an actor's feet
Yeah,
popped out the
that's
bottom like a Flintstones car, basically.
That's what it is, really, yeah. But silently, they can move silently, Josh.
Well,
Katerina,
they're wearing nice. They're wearing Crocs. That's why.
That's why.
Yeah.
Katerina is such a sweetheart companion. Having never heard of her before, I was pleasantly surprised. Her innocence and wonder and all around her was something I haven't seen in a companion before, I don't think. Having a companion from the past makes a unique viewing experience. Hartnell was fun to watch. He truly treats the material with such care, especially as he carries what looks like a tin can in his hands. The prop and set design is really charming despite recognizing a lot of the bits and pieces like the slats. If you notice, he began to point to the screen. The Dalek on the back right-hand corner, the slats are on wrong.
Pete, nothing gets past Pete Beach.
Just you wait. It's wonderful in what could have only been a tiny set. The forest foliage, the deserted planet of Desperos, all look so distinctly and otherworldly. The director's use of the minimal space is also extremely clever and dynamic. Final thoughts. I'm going to use the Doctor's words. I find this extremely fascinating. Until they brought the wooden drawer out to play a tape. Classical acting on telly, brilliant. While it's strange to rate just 2 episodes of a story, I love the intrigue and world building. I have questions here, there, and everywhere. I wish I could know how it all came together. 6 out of 10. Thank you so much, Thomas Beach and Pete Beach, for that lovely send in there.
Pete Beach, yeah.
Oh yes.
Honestly, thank you, Thomas and Pete. That was wonderful. It was wonderful. You've basically said more than I ever did about Dalek's Masterplan. I've just been on a podcast about it for 2 hours.
Do you know what? Thomas is, he's notable in this podcast for sending in lovely, lovely thoughts whenever we do anything. Yes. So lovely, big supporters. Thank you so much, Thomas. But Josh, we have got one more coming in literally as we were recording this.
I think I know who this is.
Oh yes, okay.
The master, the real master.
Indeed, as we like to refer to her as enemy of the podcast. It's Catherine. What are you laughing?
It's the master.
Kat says, greetings. It seems like I'm stuck in the sodding space-time telegraph again. What did I think of the episode? Was fine. Would even call it good. Some might even call it an episode of Doctor Who. Truthfully, I am so pleased they found this episode just so we can have more time with William Hartnell. I think it's his scenes that I miss so much when I go to visit Classic Who. He's such a star in this story and so funny. He really is one of my favourite Doctors. So whilst I don't care much for the plot or Stephen, Katerina, or even Nick Courtney, sorry Nick, I am so happy to get used to use a Discord emote of the first Doctor viewing. Yours, master.
He is lux maxing, as the young whippersnappers would say.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Well, thanks for that, Kat. What a lovely sentiment to end on.
Great way to end.
Let's all heartwarm you as we think about that. Josh, I will be letting you go very soon, but
it's all right.
As is tradition, here is the Cannon Buster.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting.
I love these. I love these for the wacky ones. I love these for the weird ones. A Canon Buster for any first-time listeners is it's basically me ripping off Broke Canon for a minute and going, oh, here's a weird thing from the EU or a weird thing that's been canonized at some point, because all of Doctor Who should be canon. There should be no canon. We should be post-canon at this point. This one comes, Josh.
What? What?
So, if you ever wondered what happened to Katerina after this story, I mean, obviously, it's very sad. We've spoken about it in the podcast that Katerina does meet a untimely and horrible fate in this story.
Yeah,
but that's not the end.
Yeeted out of an airlock.
Yeah, but Josh, that's not the end of Katerina's story. Actually,
it's not.
No.
Does she, can I try and guess what happens to her? Does she get scooped up by someone in a race on the planet Desolation?
You would think, wouldn't you? You would think something like that.
Is she actually in the third medical pod in the Ghost Monument? Is that where she is?
In the short story, Katerina in the Underworld, Katerina wanders the underworld, barely remembering who she is, and reaches Charion, which, if anyone knows the Greek mythology, is the fairy person who guides the souls in the underworld in Greek mythology to a better plane. But some reason, the First Doctor shows up there as well to help her in this. And when Katerina realizes she doesn't have a coin to give to the ferryman, the Doctor has no money either. He offers his signet ring to Charion, who agrees, but says only he can cross. He then essentially tricks this figure of Greek mythology, gets himself and Katerina onto the boat, and leaves Charion on the side of the river in the underworld. He does the old Hartnell switcheroo,
that sounds like a lovely little story, actually.
Yeah, there's some complications along the way where obviously Cerberus is involved in some way, and the whole story ends with the Doctor appealing to Hades, king of the underworld, to essentially allow Katerina to enter the afterlife. And Hades is saying no, but his wife Persephone is the one who actually brought Katerina there and appeals for Katerina and for the Doctor, and allows her. And it means that Hades allows her to enter the afterlife, and she bids a final farewell to the Doctor as he disappears.
Oh, that's lovely and sad.
It is.
Lovely. I was really hoping that it was going to be like, something funny, but it was just quite sad.
I tried to theme it. Yeah, I tried to theme it around something cute, like I tried to look at
that.
Brett,
Was very nice. That was very, very nice. Where's this? Where is this?
This is a short trip. This is from Short Trips The Muses, which came out in 2003. There's a lovely Paul McGowan on the front of it, and yeah, it's a lovely little story by Steve Lyons, who obviously is Doctor Who pedigree as well.
Of course.
So,
well,
yeah.
I'm definitely going to check that out. That sounds lovely.
It's a very sweet read, yeah. But
yes,
as I say, unfortunately, Josh, that does bring us to the end of the podcast.
No, I'm even sadder.
Oh, don't be sad. You'll be happy to be rid of me soon. And look, let's face it, you'll be back for a 6th, 7th, 8th time.
I'm sure I will. Well, thank you for having me. It genuinely means a lot to be invited back, and especially for your first one back and your first Sans Robin. So thank you very much for having me. It's a huge honour.
Well, look, before you go, please take the opportunity to plug yourself. But face it, anyone that's listening to this knows who you are already, but please do.
I wouldn't assume. I would never to make an assumption is to make an ass out of you, an umption. So, God, that's such a fucking shit dad joke, isn't it? Anyway, yes, I'm Josh. If you want to find me, I host a Doctor Who podcast called Who Knew, a Doctor Who podcast where I chat to the great and the good in the world of Doctor Who. I've had some very lovely people on, especially last year. You know, I had the likes of Murray Gold and Chris Chibnall, but I've also had some wonderful people from in and around the fandom, and the podcast is going to be coming back in probably the coming weeks. So I did record some stuff at the Dalek Masterplan screening, so I will be coming back with probably a short little bonus special episode based around that screening. And then in terms of the already announced ones, will be Crispy Pro, and then Paul Hayes, the author of Pull to Open and The Long Game, and then many more, many names to come, and definitely an appearance from this man at some point in the future. That is on the cards, I can assure you. But yes, other than that, but yeah, you can find me on all the social medias. Also, just want to mention one thing. You've probably heard Dominic G. Martin's incredible fan series, Doctor Who Remnants, at some point in your life, which is a fan anthology audio series. And I have had the immense honour, along with the previously mentioned Thomas Beach and a mutual friend of ours, Joshua Carpenter, of writing one of the stories for the final series of Remnants. So that story will be coming out later this year. So keep an eye out for that. It will be over on Dom's channel. But I loved working on it. It's my first properly released bit of fiction writing. So I hope people enjoy it. I also star in it, as I star in multiple episodes of this wonderful man's Red Twilight fan audio series as well.
You say that it's not my series.
It's not yours, but you are the no. Of course, it's Cat and Nat.
Yes,
you know, are the real Barry Letts and Terence. No, that's an unflattering comparison. But they're the real showrunners behind that operation. But you know, you bring the star power. You are the Doctor after all.
And I wrote that mini-sode, and I wrote it
exactly.
I wrote you apart very specifically because I was like,
did.
I said
because you say that I remind you of Pat Butcher from Ghosts.
No, I didn't say you remind me. I said that you can do a Pat Butcher.
Yeah, but you have said to me previously, and actually Jess has said, you are not the first person to say that I am a bit like Pat Butcher from Ghosts. I mean, mainly because I'm northern and a little bit dopey, and I make some shit dad jokes. So
there are worse comparisons. There are less flattering ones. Well, look, thank you again, mate, and all the best.
Thank you for having me.
Every time a new episode drops, it's always my favourite. It always brings me such joy. So, yeah.
I'm glad. Well, the episodes with Crispy and Paul Hayes are both fantastic. I'm like, not to blow my own trumpet, they are fantastic. So I can't wait for you to hear them. There's some hilarious bloopers from the Crispy Pro one, which I can't wait to release, involving a dishwasher.
Well, thank you, everyone. This has been an awful lot of running. I've been Jack. Oh my God, I can go over to you. I've been Jack.
He's been Jack.
Okay, he's been Josh.
No, I'm joking. I've been Josh.
Yeah. This has been an awful lot of running. Thank you, everybody. Bye for now.
Hello, you awful people. Thank you for listening to An Awful Lot of Running, a Doctor Who podcast. If you've enjoyed what you've heard, then please consider liking, subscribing, sharing on social media, or even leaving us a review on YouTube or your chosen podcast platform. It really does help us out an awful lot. And we greatly appreciate it. Seriously? We greatly appreciate it. An awful lot. Okay, who writes this? Honestly, who writes this? Okay? Look, it's bad enough doing the Tom and not be paid, but like, come on, guys. What do you want me to do here? You give me no script, and you expect me to go what? Oh, right, okay, that should be enough. That should be enough. All right, bye.